Most people don't actually have a time problem. They have a decision problem. You wake up with 10 things to do. You answer a few messages. Check one email. Open Instagram for just a minute. And suddenly, it's noon. You've been busy all day. But at night, you look back and think, what did I actually get done? That's the most frustrating thing about modern productivity. Being busy can feel like progress, even when you're moving nowhere. Today, we're fixing that with 5 simple daily systems, designed to make your day easier, not more complicated. No waking up at 4 a.m. No color-coded calendar that takes longer to manage than your actual work. No trying to squeeze 47 tasks into one day. These systems are about one thing. Stop managing every minute and start managing your attention. Stay until System 4. Because it solves one of the biggest productivity traps nobody talks about. The constant feeling that you need to handle everything before you can finally breathe. Let's start. System 1. The 3 priority rule. Every morning, most people make a giant to-do list. 20 tasks. 10 reminders. 5 things marked urgent. And by 10 a.m., the list already feels like it's winning. Here's a better approach. Choose only 3 important outcomes for the day. Not 20. 3. One should genuinely move your work or life forward. The second can be important maintenance. The third can be something small but meaningful. Instead of writing, work on project. Reply to all emails. Clean desk. Go grocery shopping. Exercise. Read. Make presentation. Call mom. Your list becomes: finish the presentation. Exercise for 30 minutes. Buy groceries. That's it. Everything else exists somewhere else. Why does this work? Because your brain has limited attention. When everything feels important, nothing feels important. A shorter priority list reduces the number of decisions you have to make throughout the day. And there's another psychological benefit. When you finish 3 meaningful things, you actually feel progress. That's very different from checking off 12 tiny tasks while avoiding the one thing that really mattered. Tonight, before you sleep, write down tomorrow's 3 priorities. And here's the rule. If it isn't important enough to make the top 3, it probably doesn't deserve your best energy today. System 2. Match the task to your energy. Here's a mistake almost everyone makes. They organize their day around the clock, instead of organizing it around their brain. But your brain doesn't perform the same way. At 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 9 p.m., you already know this. In the morning, you're sharp. You can think clearly, solve problems, make decisions. Then afternoon arrives, and suddenly replying to one email feels like a major project. Instead of fighting that pattern, use it. Put your deepest work during your highest energy hours. Writing, studying, planning, creative work, important decisions. Then save your lower energy periods for simpler tasks. Emails, admin, scheduling, routine errands. This is sometimes called energy management, rather than traditional time management. And it changes the question entirely. Don't ask, when do I have time for this? Ask, when will my brain be best at this? Because one focused hour at your peak can be worth 3 distracted hours later. You don't need more hours. You need to stop spending your best hours on tasks that don't require them. System 3. Create a daily focus window. Here's something most people underestimate. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain doesn't instantly switch with you. You answer a text, check an email, open a tab, return to your project, and suddenly you're technically working, but mentally you're somewhere else. This is why multitasking feels productive, while often producing mediocre results. The fix is simple. Create one protected focus window every day. It doesn't need to be 3 hours. Start with 45 minutes. During that window, one task, one screen if possible. Phone away. Notifications off. Think of it like making an appointment with yourself. You wouldn't invite 5 people into a meeting and expect to get anything meaningful done. So don't do it to your own attention. And here's the important part. Don't wait until you feel focused. Start the timer first. Focus often arrives after you begin, not before. You might spend the first few minutes feeling restless. That's completely normal. Your brain is used to constant stimulation. Give it a few minutes without feeding the distraction, and you'll notice something interesting. The urge to check your phone starts getting quieter. If 45 minutes feels impossible right now, start with 20. The goal isn't to prove how disciplined you are. The goal is to train your brain to stay with one thing long enough to actually produce something. System 4. The Not Now list. This one sounds almost too simple, but it might save your focus more than anything else on this list. You're working, and suddenly your brain says, I need to order that thing. Did I reply to Sarah? I should check that email. Oh, I forgot to book the appointment. And because the thought feels important, you stop. You handle the distraction. Come back. And 5 minutes later, another thought appears. Instead of acting on every thought the moment it arrives, create a not now list. Keep a small note beside you. Whenever something unrelated appears in your head, write it down. Don't solve it. Don't search for it. Don't pick up your phone. Just write it. Call dentist. Buy detergent. Reply to Sarah. Look up flights. Your brain gets one reassurance. I won't forget this. And that is often enough to let you return to what you were doing. This works because your brain doesn't need every thought handled immediately. It needs to know the thought has been captured. At the end of your focus session, look at the list. Some things will take 2 minutes. Some won't matter anymore. And some will become tomorrow's priorities. That's the difference between being responsive and being constantly interrupted. System 5. The Nightly Reset. Now let's talk about the system that makes tomorrow easier. Most people finish their day exhausted. Close the laptop. Grab the phone. Go to bed without deciding what comes next. Then morning arrives. And the first 20 minutes disappear, just figuring out where to start. Instead, take 5 minutes at night. Ask yourself 3 questions. What did I actually finish today? What still genuinely matters? What is the first specific thing I'll do tomorrow? That's it. No giant planning session. No productivity dashboard. Just 5 minutes. There's a reason this works. Unfinished tasks tend to stay active in your mind. Writing them down gives your brain somewhere to put them. And deciding tomorrow's first action removes the uncertainty that makes mornings slow. You wake up knowing exactly where to begin. Make it specific. Not work on the presentation. Open the file and finish slide 5. Specific enough that you can start without making a single decision. Because procrastination rarely begins with laziness. It begins with ambiguity. When the next step is unclear, your brain immediately looks for something easier. Your phone suddenly looks interesting. Your inbox suddenly feels urgent. Cleaning your desk suddenly seems productive. So make the first step obvious. And then simply begin. And here's the rule that connects all 5 systems. Protect the output, not the hours. The real measure of a productive day isn't how many hours you worked. It's whether the 3 things that mattered actually got done. You could spend 8 hours at your desk and produce almost nothing. Or spend 3 focused hours and completely change the direction of your week. There's a Japanese concept that reflects this quietly. Kaizen. Continuous small improvement. Every day. Not a massive productive sprint once in a while. Just small, consistent progress. Protected with intention. You don't need to work harder. You need to protect the work that matters. Because at the end of any day, you're not asking how busy you were. You're asking, did anything real get done? And now you have 5 systems that make the answer yes. Which of these 5 systems are you starting tomorrow? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if someone you know is always busy but never feels like anything gets done, send this to them. Because sometimes, the most useful thing you can share with someone is a simpler way to actually finish their day.